Everybody, my pleasure to talk about the three defensive linemen we're bringing in here. I think common threads you see with these guys, and it can't be stated enough in here. You know, they come from quality homes. When you talk about going to college and succeeding at the high level in college football, you got to have some toughness and work ethic. And as soon as you get to know these kids and their family, their parents is where it comes from. And they're just great people, and they were a joy to go through the recruiting process with, you know. So high character, toughness, tenacity, we'll see with all of them. The first one I'll start with is Julian Juju Anderson. He was my first win in the transfer portal here in the spring. I called his coach at Blair Academy about another kid in the portal, and he said, well, I got one other kid that's going to be here, and Juju Anderson. And I said, oh, okay. You know, wrote the name down, and boom, I look it up, and there's this freak athlete, long, athletic kid coming up there from Florida. And I tell you what, you get on the phone with the kid, unbelievable energy, positive at all times, long, rangy kid. I think he's got the tools to be what we're looking for in the pass rush game. Excited to get him up here, was able to see him work out in the spring, work out in the fall at practice. He's playing both sides of the football. That's what you want to see. You know, he's a leadership kid. I watched him practice front of the line, telling other kids what to do in a positive manner, and getting the football in his hands. And those are the kids you want to watch. You grow into his body, because I think he's got tremendous upside and the skills we want to rush the passer here at Pitt, and the long line of guys that have done it here. Denim Cook, the next young man, I give Coach Manilak a ton of credit. Had him ready to go when I got here. Brought him over to spring game. I remember walking down the sideline of spring game, and we knew who he was. Had a little relationship with him on the phone, but said, hey, this is what they're supposed to look like. He is a big joker when he walks through the door. He's a man, 6'4 plus. You know, I think he's probably close to 230 right now, and keeps going. Now, Denim did things the right way. Just kept on working. We built our relationship, and then went to go watch him live in the spring. Coach Manny and I stood in the rain at a traditional high school power. Bishop Hartley. I've been known Coach Birchfield for years over there, and finally get to land one of his young men over here. He just went through station to station and worked. And Manny and I, not standing next to each other, looked at each other across the field and said, yeah, that's it. That's what they're supposed to look like. And he did a great job. He's had a great senior year, got cut short with an injury. Probably kept some other schools from calling him a little too much. You know, he had to hang up the phone a couple times, and that's what you want to do, though. You want to fight for those top kids against some of those big schools. And I think we got a great one that we'll see where the Lord takes him with his body, because I think a kid that can do a lot of different things when he gets over here to Pitt in the mid-year, him and Juju both. And last but certainly not least, Trevor Sommers from Power St. Thomas Aquinas, still playing in the playoffs. Talked to him last night, interrupted his film study Zoom call with his position coach, and that's who he is. Oh, coach, can I call you back? And then boom, there he is, watching film at the dinner table with his position coach, ready to win another state title down there at St. Thomas. He was a young man that was far along the process when I got here in February, and I'm glad he was. And then I went down there and got a chance to watch him live in the fall and sat across from Coach Harriet, the coach down there, and said, you got a guy. And when Coach Harriet says that, that's real. Down there at St. Thomas. Trevor is in the front of the line. He is a worker. You want to talk about a kid that loves football, high motor, light on his feet, and just likes to put his face in the fan? Like, that's what we want at D-tackle. A tough kid that's going to bring a lot of great intangibles to this program. Any questions?
So Denim Cook, you know, linebacker in high school, you said Ryan Manley talked to him. What do you have to do to squeeze him away from him?
No, Manny's the king of Columbus, all right? The first NFL player out of Pickerington, Ohio, right there, Ryan Manley, all right? So Manny did a great job setting the table. The kid does a ton of different things on tape. You know, he's playing outside linebacker, playing middle linebacker, playing defensive end. No, Manny and I agree, get the good ones in the boat, and yeah.
So how do you get him to say, like, hey, can he come this way instead of maybe we flick some more to middle linebacker, or is that dictated by where the player?
Well, I think the film, and if you walked in the room and when you'll see him, you're like, okay, yeah, his days of standing behind the defense, scraping over the top or over, put your hand on the ground and come off the edge.
Is there a projection process, though, when you have one of those outside edge rushers?
We all do our best, right? You do your best. You look at a kid, no one's perfect, but, broad shoulders, long arms. He's got huge feet. I think he's got like a 15 shoe. I mean, he's going to be a big, even bigger young man that he is, And you try to figure out, okay, how much is he lifting, right? Multi-sport kid, what's the diet like, things like that. And we're very fortunate to have all those resources here to maximize who they are as young men.
You play more 50 defense with Denim Cook?
50? Well, there's a guy right next to you. Him and Bates can tell us what we're doing. But, you know, the more athletes you get, the more you run, that's what you do, right? You get your guys, and we argue about who's the right guy to get in the right spot and get athletes on the field together next to each other so they can't figure out who they're going to be.
How with Anderson's frame, how big do you think he can get, like weight-wise?
Oh, I think 40 is an easy number for him, 240, you know, as he gets going. He played basketball for a long, long time. You know, I'm sure he worked out this morning at 5 a.m. I mean, the kid's up and going every single morning as he goes. So it'll slow down for him. He's anxious to get here in a few weeks and slow things down and just bury himself in the weight room, you know, with Coach Stack downstairs.
Anything else for Coach?
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.